early on, there's a vision. It was a vision to do things differently. It was a vision to engage clients in an independent way with objectivity and transparency being foremost in the relationship. I basically saw an industry that was not fulfilling its promise to represent the client and to do the right thing. And one of the reasons that I wanted to start BSE Private Wealth is I felt there was an opportunity to really serve the client in a different way. Really love pushing away from the table at the end of a meeting and hearing them say, "Thank you, John. If it wasn't for the work that your team has done for us, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't be retiring. We wouldn't be doing the thing that matters most to us." And when they say thank you, we know we've done our job the right way.
Good morning. Boy, after watching that video, it is hard not to feel both grateful and energized. The music, right? We did that on purpose. In 3 minutes, we just watched 20 years of conviction and passion fly by, from the early days to firm growth, new team members, celebrations, and so much more. But you know what? There were things we didn't see. We didn't see the market disruptions along the way. We didn't see the countless conversations and decisions and leaps of faith that have brought us here, but we'll get there. My name is Berganske Frank, and on behalf of all of us at Clearwater Capital Partners, welcome and thank you for joining us today. And as you can see, we are celebrating our 20-year anniversary, wrapped around a theme that feels more relevant than ever: time, wealth, and what matters most. And as I look about the room, I see many of you who have been with our firm since the very beginning, and others who are newer to the Clearwater family. Wherever you have joined us on that timeline, you are a part of that story, and we are deeply grateful. So, in celebration and in gratitude, I'm gonna share a little bit more about that history, the early convictions that still hold strong. I'm also going to give you that snapshot of exactly where we are today. It's actually one of my favorite things to do year over year. And of course, I'll showcase where we're headed. So, you guys ready? All right. Clearwater's story, it starts before 2006. For more than 2 decades on Wall Street, John Chapman grew in various roles and leadership. And along the way, he observed things that he just didn't agree with: conflicts of interest, clients being treated as accounts as opposed to relationships. And this forged in him a simple conviction: clients deserved a true independent advocate on their side of the table. And then conviction met opportunity. Longtime friend and CPA Al Kraus approached John about creating a wealth firm inside and alongside his CPA practice. This was Providence. And together they asked, what if we built a firm Wall Street didn't want, but that families, individuals truly needed? The vision was not to build something up just to sell it, which is very common today. It was to build a firm that could serve families across multiple generations with a collaborative team built around each client where culture and ownership was designed to endure. That's when we opened the doors in 2006. But you know what? The timing? Boy. Launching in 2006 almost perfectly overlapped with the global financial crisis, the worst market disruption since the Great Depression. Markets unraveled, confidence evaporated, and fear dominated. And for a brand new independent firm, this was trial by fire. But Clearwater's response was to not chase whatever was fashionable or to forget those long-term plans. In fact, it was to narrow their focus, strengthening planning, investment processes, tightening risk controls, and staying in close, honest communications with clients, especially when those headlines were the loudest. Now, just a few years after John and Al founded the firm, John Sleeting and Jeff DeHaan joined and became just a tremendous part of the firm's growth and evolution. And the firm continued to stay anchored in what they could control, helping families make thoughtful decisions and keeping those strategies aligned. And that pattern really has repeated itself ever since. The US debt downgrade in 2011, periods of sharp market volatility, COVID-19 whiplash, even seasons marked by geopolitical conflict and war. All the while, the firm grew in technology, innovation, and additional impactful team members like James Chapman, Tyler Beechler, Greg Davis, Kevin Karani. All of these individuals have been with our firm since, well, for over a decade now, which is pretty fantastic. And you can see now the results in these past decisions in such tangible ways. We manage nearly $1.7 billion of assets under management, but that's just a subset as we advise in the several multiples with our clients' balance sheets housing businesses, real estate, private holdings, and other meaningful assets. Our clients are in 37 states as well as internationally, and last year we crossed over $1 billion traded, which speaks not just to the breadth of our work, but to the sophistication of the infrastructure intentionally built behind it. We've grown in 3 distinct practice areas: our family office services, private wealth management, and institutional advisory. And we have these supported by what we call centers of excellence. So think about advanced planning, portfolio management, operations, and we even have enterprise functions that you guys just don't always get to see, but they keep us secure and those trains moving on time. Now, as proud as we are of the numbers and the structures that I just mentioned, they are not the headlines. They're evidence, but they are not our identity. The headline is why we exist and how we choose to show up, our purpose. And for those of you who have been around for a while, you probably remember when we first rolled out our purpose statement. We worked so hard to get this right because this is our heartbeat. This is our why. We exist to inspire you and empower you to live with confidence, joy, and a spirit of abundance, to help you go out and achieve your objectives in life and leave the legacy that you aspire. This is not marketing language. This is the lens through which we think about advice, relationships, innovation, and stewardship. And at our firm, we have 2 non-negotiables. These are our core values, and they have been around since the inception of our firm: character and competency. And character means that we always have the right motivations. That word fiduciary, it's alive, it's real, and it's been that way since the very beginning. And competency means that we treat this as a true intellectual capital business, bringing planning, strategy, and that technical depth you expect from a firm you've entrusted with your life's work. That's why, this is really cool, you see so many advanced designations, Isn't that amazing? Year over year, industry recognitions and thought leadership across all roles of our team. From Jeff DeHaan's Investment News Honors, and that's right, that's more than one in the last year, to Greg Davis's leadership to senior partner, James Chapman's leadership to partner, and Carter King's promotion to retirement plan consultant, and so many more that have happened in just the last year since we last met. These accolades, these letters though, they matter less than what they signal. A culture that's committed to showing up and staying sharp because you deserve our best. So spirit of abundance, our purpose statement, that's really something special. Those are powerful words, and when I hear that, I can't help but lean into our foundation as well, which has become an important expression of who we are, supporting organizations focused on women and girls, people in need, veterans and military families, and other causes that matter deeply to our firm and the team members. And that's actually a really important point I like to make. This is not a top-down philanthropy, our foundation. In fact, 100% of our employees participate in our foundation in some meaningful way, whether that's through our match program, or participating on our foundation committee, or even rolling up their sleeves and volunteering at our charity supercar show, which, yes, is coming up June 6th. For those of you who have not had an opportunity to experience this, we're moving into our 6th year. This is an experience. It is a spectacle. 250 cars, supercars, muscle, some classics, drive up on a red carpet, there are boats, there's live DJ, there's raffles and food trucks and pickleball and so much more. But here's what it's about. Are you ready? Our foundation underwrites this whole event so that every dollar raised, every sponsorship dollar goes to 3 charitable beneficiaries. Last year we raised $85,000. So my invite to you is come out and help us have a great day. It's not even a whole day, it's 3 hours of meaningful impact. It's such a good time. Please join us. And it's family friendly. I always like to put that out there too. But we have a curveball. We actually are peppering in a brand new event even before the car show, if you could believe it, called Pickleball for a Purpose. Same idea, fully underwritten so that every dollar raised goes to a charitable beneficiary, and we are very excited. I'm not a pickleballer, but if you guys are, please come and join us for pickleball. If you have friends, check it out. And we have information on all this in the back. Okay. If I had to put the last 20 years into a single idea, it might be something like this. Clearwater began with a decision to not grow quickly, but to build correctly, to build a fiercely fiduciary, independent first firm with character and competency at the heart of everything that we do. And we've spent the last 2 decades laying this foundation so that as we welcome new clients, excuse me, as we expand our capabilities and grow our team, it never comes at the expense of independence, quality of advice, and that white-gloved experience you've come to know. Our aspirations are big, but they are not about numbers for their own sake. They're about the life-changing value that we can bring to you. At the end of the day, that's what time, wealth, and what matters means. Helping you align the time that you have and the wealth that you've built with the people and purposes that matter most to you. And if there's one thing that gives us energy as we step into the next 20 years, it's that this isn't just Clearwater's story, it's your story too, and we're just getting started. So, this is very important. Thank yous to our longtime clients and relationships. Thank you for trusting us long before we were widely known. To those who are newer to the Clearwater family, thank you for seeing yourselves in this story and choosing to be a part of it. To our team, who treats us not as a job, but as a calling, thank you for bringing both character and competency into the office every single day. As we look ahead to Clearwater's next chapter, one of the clearest signs that this vision is truly resonating is the kind of talent that it attracts. So I'm gonna wrap this up by doing something a little different. I'm gonna introduce you to someone you likely have not yet met, but the newest member of our team, Kevin Rochford, Director of Family Office Services. Kevin graduated from Williams College. He joined the Marines as an intelligence officer, received an MBA at NYU, and then spent more than 3 decades in financial services. He's worked in commercial banking, global markets, lived in London, Asia, and has overseen relationships in and across Europe, the Middle East, Hong Kong, and Japan. In recent years, his work has focused on the type of clients and structures that are very familiar with our firm: successful business owners, corporate executives, multi-generational families. So here's where I'm going with this. When someone with Kevin's vast background, level of success, unique perspective, is looking for a new home for his relationships, explores all the options in the industry, has been part of many of those options, and can choose from any one of them, but chooses Clearwater. That's both a compliment and a responsibility. It says something about the work we're doing and the kinds of families this place serves. So I've asked Kevin to come up and to tell us in his own words why this firm, why this team, and why this model matters. Please help me in welcoming Kevin.
Thanks, Katie. That's the biggest head I've seen in so long. Actually, can I get a copy of this so I can bring it home to my wife and just put it up on the wallpaper? Right?